Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show. We have some breaking news to get to here, as now we have a definitive timeline for how much time Niners quarterback Brock Purdy is going to be out. 2 to 5 weeks, according to Ian Rappaport, with a form of turf toe. We're going to talk about that. Why Mac Jones can be successful with San Francisco, but what I'm concerned about, and are the Niners about to sign another quarterback while Brock Purdy is hurt? It's all coming up here on the 49ers Report. Thanks for waking up here with us, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because whenever there's breaking news, whenever there's a developing situation, regardless of where I am, what time it is, I always have you covered. So Ian Rappaport this morning was on the NFL Network doing his duties as the great NFL insider that he is, and he relayed that Brock Purdy could miss anywhere between 2 to 5 weeks with a form of turf toe. Now, when did the injury happen? When I did that Purdy update last night, a lot of people were asking about it down in the comment section, and in case you missed my explanation for when it happened, Kyle Shanahan did say that it occurred in the second quarter of Sunday's Week 1 game against the Seattle Seahawks, where Purdy was kind of flushed out of the pocket. He ran to his left after he was getting pressured, ran toward the sideline, and tried to pick up a first down, and then he was tackled from behind, and that's when the injury occurred. And Kyle Shanahan said yesterday that it was a long shot that Purdy was going to be able to play Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. And he said, after a follow-up question, that Purdy could be out multiple weeks. And now it is Ian Rappaport's understanding that the timeline is going to be 2 to 5 weeks. So 2 to 5 games for Purdy. The Niners' next 5 games here: at Saints, home against the Cardinals, that's San Francisco's season opener, home against the Jags, on the road against the Rams, short week, Thursday Night Football. Then you have a little bit of a mini bye. That's that week and a half after playing Thursday night, on the road cross-country travel against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so at the very least, it looks as though Purdy is going to miss the Saints game and then miss the home opener at Levi's Stadium, the site of Super Bowl 60, in an NFC West game against the Cardinals. Maybe he returns against the Jags, but there's a possibility that Purdy could be out for the Saints, Cardinals, Jags, Rams, Buccaneers games. That's the timeline there. 2 to 5 weeks. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm a sports talk show host. I'm a content creator, but I asked Grok, what is turf toe? Explain it to me like I'm dumb. And what I like to do here on the show, entertain you, give you insightful coverage, but I want you always to come away from these shows having learned something. So let's learn together what turf toe is. Turf toe is a sprain of the big toe joint, where your toe connects to your foot. It happens when you jam or bend your big toe too far upward, like when you're pushing off to run or jump, especially on hard surfaces like artificial turf. I have said this so many times. My opinions on this are well documented. I know the Niners are very adamant about this, especially players like Nick Bosa, who tore his ACL in 2020 on an artificial turf surface. It really annoys me and really bothers me that NFL owners who are billionaires in an era where NFL teams and the league is raking in cash continue to have these artificial turf surfaces. Now, I know that it can change with an outdoor stadium and an indoor stadium, but I think it should be a requirement that every NFL stadium has a grass surface. It's possible. You know, you look at a team like the Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium, it has a roof. They have a grass surface. The Arizona Cardinals have that retractable roof. It is a grass surface. I hate turf, especially when injuries like this can be magnified when they happen on a turf surface. There are rubber pellets in there. It is not safe. The blades of grass are a form of plastic. There is nothing better than a real grass surface. And for me, I've always said this, right? You're an NFL owner. And yes, you're making a ton of coin. I mean, shoot, NFL stadiums are charging $15 for beers, $15 to $20 for a damn cheeseburger. You're charging $50 to park. Ticket prices are insane. But you're investing so much money into your football team. You're investing so much money into these individual players. If you're investing so much coin into these athletes, don't you want them healthy? You're trying to cut costs by not having to devote financial capital to grounds crew employees, to upkeep grass surfaces. And I see you're trying to pinch pennies there, but if a Nick Bosa or a Brock Purdy, after you pay Purdy $55 million per year, for instance, obviously the Niners have a grass surface, and it's a beautiful grass surface at Levi Stadium, but the point here is you're paying so much money to these players. If they're out and it impacts wins and losses, revenue, and the opportunity to play in the playoffs, which is more additional revenue on top of regular season games, just get a grass surface. Because you're not making good on that investment if those star players or player is out for an extended period of time. I hate turf. The Niners have let their feelings be known on this. More from Grok. Imagine your big toe is like a hinge on a door. If you force the door to swing too far the wrong way, the hinge gets strained or damaged. That's what happens to the ligaments, the stretchy bands holding the joint together in your big toe. It can also mess with the tendons or even the bones in bad cases. It's common in athletes, especially in sports like football, soccer, I'll add basketball as well, where you're sprinting or cutting on stiff ground. Symptoms: pain at the base of your big toe, swelling, trouble pushing off when you walk or run. It can feel like your toe is screaming to stop moving. Treatment is usually rest, ice, keeping weight off of it. Sometimes you need a stiff shoe or even crutches for a bit. In rare cases, if it's really bad, surgery might be needed. Think of it like giving your toe a timeout to heal. So, given what I just said, thanks to Grok, Dr. Grok, for quarterbacks, really for any NFL player, planting, running, pushing off, throwing comes with pain. So all you can really do, rest it. Why this injury news sucks for the Niners, given the timing of it? Brock Purdy just got paid. You're giving him $55 million per year. The only year that he's been healthy, 2023. He played all season long. The only game that he sat out coming off that elbow surgery was the final week once the Niners had the number 1 seed wrapped up. He led such an epic comeback win, and I love the way that he did it. Got rid of the mistakes, short memory, flushed those turnovers, overcame adversity, loud, raucous environment, going up against your most hostile rival. You're down, and you come back. You go 6 for 6 on the game-winning drive. The game-winning touchdown to Jake Tonches. I know some people are like, he threw it right to Reek Woolen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call a 50-50 ball. That's what you call a contested catch. That's what you call giving your playmaker an opportunity to make a play. And Purdy bought time, improvised, got creative. There was a moment within the progression of that play where Christian McCaffrey stepped out of bounds, and he signaled to Brock Purdy, don't throw it to me. I went out of bounds. I'm an ineligible receiver. Purdy saw that. He ran 16 miles per hour to his right, got hit as he threw, and put it up for Tonches to grab it. 6'4", 240, won the battle over Reek Woolen, 6'4", 210. That's big boy football right there. And another thing, too, Purdy answered the bell and the questions about how he can perform late in a tight game against an elite defense in a tough environment when you're down, when the game is close. Purdy previously had struggled in those types of situations. Week 1, he rises to the occasion, passes the test. That's what you pay your quarterbacks to do. And my goodness, I mean, do the Niners lead the NFL in injuries that come to light after a game. Like Purdy finished the game. He got hurt in the second quarter, played the rest of the game, looked good. And then now he's out 2 to maybe more than a month. 2 weeks more than a month. And lastly, it's just more bad injury luck for San Francisco. It never ends. Now, what can Mac Jones bring? I like Mac Jones. You know, at Alabama, I was high on him coming out of the draft. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan really liked him in the pre-draft. Niners took Trey Lance instead. I agree with that selection at the time because Lance had way more upside. I think we've seen that throughout the preseason. He won that QB2 battle behind Justin Herbert. Jim Harbaugh's done a really good job with his development. And I thought Mac Jones had a ceiling. Year one, Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler. I thought he did some good things. But his offensive situation as far as talent around him, playmakers, coaching, wasn't ideal. Wasn't ideal by any means with New England. Bill Belichick really struggled to draft, develop, and find good talent around him. And then coaching staff-wise, they didn't really elevate Mac Jones. He went to the Jags last year, final year for that coaching staff, Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson. And so he hasn't really had a lot of stability. But coming to the Niners, Kyle Shanahan likes him. Kyle Shanahan looks at him as a scheme fit. He's accurate. He can get the ball out on time in rhythm to his playmakers to pick up yards after the catch. He can play point guard in this offense. He had a good training camp. I like what he did in the preseason against the Broncos, against the Raiders. What I'm concerned about, Brock Purdy bails this bad offensive line out so often with his ability to create with his feet and his legs. Mac Jones can't do that. He is a sitting duck back there and a statue, and he has no mobility. And so now the Niners' offensive line problems could be amplified because Mac Jones has no mobility. So Mac Jones going to get at least 2 starts, it looks like. Adrian Martinez will be the backup. And will the Niners bring in another quarterback? We're about to talk about that next. So don't miss it because they're bringing in a veteran who's been in the league for a little while. This episode, though, of the 49ers Report brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. This is the best go-to daily fantasy sports app in America, and that's why millions of people are members. Become a member today. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Download the app. Use the code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Simple to play. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. It's the best way to get action on sports all across America. PrizePicks puts their users first. All withdrawals fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. PrizePicks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks won't count it as a loss. Test out your sports knowledge with PrizePicks. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long. Download the app. Use that code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. As for that quarterback who the Niners worked out yesterday, and I imagine with Purdy missing some time, they have to bring in a QB. Veteran quarterback Mike White worked out for San Francisco on Wednesday. Kyle Shanahan said they'd like to add another quarterback while Purdy is hurt, but they're not sure they'll be able to, given other roster issues, because the Niners have all these injuries. Mike White, 2018 fifth-round pick out of Western Kentucky, with the Dallas Cowboys in 2018, the New York Jets 2019 through 2022, with the Miami Dolphins in 2023, Buffalo Bills in 2024. He got let go by Buffalo. He was competing for a third-string job behind Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky this offseason. He does have some starting experience. Good size, 6'5", 220. Doesn't throw with a lot of touch. The accuracy, certainly up and down. Sometimes, like oftentimes backups do, telegraphs passes. Defenders are able to read his eyes In 2021, he started 3 games with the Jets, 1-2, completed 66.7% of his passes through 5 touchdowns, 8 picks, 953 yards, 7.2 yards per attempt. In 2022, he went 1-3, completed 58.9% of his passes for nearly 1,200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 picks, yards per attempt, 6.8. For the Miami Dolphins in 2023, played in 6 games, 5 of 6, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And then with Buffalo in 2024, played in 1 game. He went 3 of 11, 28 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And his yards per attempt, 2.5. This is more of an emergency move, of course, for San Francisco, just because they might need to add another quarterback. But if they do, they'll have to make a move on the practice squad and or active roster. You have to imagine that the 2 quarterbacks on the active roster for game day Sunday against the Saints going to be Mac Jones and Adrian Martinez. Adrian Martinez is an excellent athlete. And when he was at Nebraska, my gosh, he had some good moments. Throwing it, running it, being able to create with his feet. But the thing with Adrian Martinez, and this was really a Nebraska, the football program is cursed type of takeaway, when it was late, when games were close, when Nebraska was up late, they always found a way to lose. And Adrian Martinez always turned the ball over at the most inopportune time. Now, looking ahead to this Niners-Saints game, they were 7-point favorites, down to 4.5. Now it's about 3 as far as the line, so San Francisco favored by a field goal. New Orleans is rebuilding, but in the NFL, anything can happen any given week. It's a league of parity, and no result really surprises you, right? Even teams who draft number 1 overall and earn the first pick because of how bad they were the year prior, they can win 3, 4, 5, 6 games. And so the Niners are still more talented. They should still win this game. They have the better coaching staff. They are much more experienced. But New Orleans, Superdome, it's going to be rocking. It's going to be loud. And the Saints, a feisty team, much more well-coached than last year under Kellen Moore. Brandon Staley, former Niners assistant last year. He's their defensive coordinator. They brought the Cardinals game down to the wire, nearly won. They had a chance to win it. But Arizona able to get kind of like a red zone, borderline red zone stop late. Spencer Rattler threw a ball that maybe should have been caught into the end zone. Could have changed the result of that game. So we'll see. We'll be doing a watch party for that game Sunday, so don't miss it. Early pregame show, live for the game, post-game reaction as well. Mac Jones Show for San Francisco. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going live a little bit later today, so be on the lookout for that, and I'll catch you soon.